All right, let's jump right in. We're going to be breaking down the core ideas from Tony Robbins' huge book, Money, Master the Game. The goal here is pretty simple, to cut through all the noise around personal finance and lay out a clear path to what we all want, financial freedom. And look, this isn't just some motivational speaker's take on things. That quote, that's from Paul Tudor Jones, who is an absolute legend in the financial world. He's basically saying, yep, Tony cracked the code. He took the genius-level strategies of the world's best investors and turned them into a simple system that you and I can actually use. I mean, be honest for a second. Have you ever felt totally overwhelmed or confused, or just plain suspicious about the whole world of finance? Well, you're not alone. And the crazy part is, you're not wrong either.
To really get why, you have to see the world we're playing in for what it is. It's not a fair and level playing field. It's more like a dense, complicated jungle, and, it's kind of designed to keep you lost.
I mean, just look at this alphabet soup of jargon. This is not an accident. It's a wall. The financial world created its own language to make you feel like an outsider, so you'll just hand over your money and control to the so-called professionals who then charge you a fortune for their services.
And that feeling that the game is rigged, it's not just in your head. This is Michael Lewis, the guy who wrote The Big Short and exposed the 2008 crisis. And he's just stating it as a fact. The system is built for the insiders to win. And if you want proof, get this. These high-frequency trading firms spent $250 million just to get an edge that's measured in thousands of a second. That's the game they're playing. As another investor, Ray Dalio, puts it, this isn't a friendly game of poker. This is poker with the best players on Earth.
Okay, so the system itself is stacked against us. But that's only half the battle. We're also up against a brand new economic reality, and maybe the biggest opponent of all, our own psychology.
77%. That's the percentage of Americans who say they have financial worries. Just let that sink in. If you feel anxious about money, you are in the overwhelming majority. This stress is a massive shared experience. And a big reason for all that anxiety is this right here. The old retirement playbook is gone. The idea of a company pension for life, that's practically a museum piece. Now we're living way longer, meaning retirement could easily last 30 years or more, and the entire burden of paying for it has been dropped squarely on our shoulders. Quick question for you. Look at these two tables. Which one is longer and skinnier? Almost everyone says the one on the left. But they're exactly the same size. It's an optical illusion. And even when you know it's an illusion, your brain is hardwired to see it the wrong way. Well, our brains do the exact same thing when it comes to money. Our gut feelings are often just plain wrong. And that's what leads directly to this, the herd mentality. We just do what everyone else is doing. We buy when stocks are soaring and everyone's excited, right at the peak. And we panic and sell when everyone else is freaking out, right at the bottom. It feels like the safe thing to do, but it's an absolute recipe for disaster. So, if the system is designed to be confusing and our own brains can trick us, what on earth are we supposed to do? Well, you find a guide. You find someone who's already navigated that jungle and can hand you a map. And that's exactly the role Tony Robbins decided to take on. He wasn't just pushing his own ideas. He saw how many people got wiped out in the 2008 crash, got furious about it, and asked a simple question: what can I do to help? The answer was to go on a 4-year mission, not to talk to TV pundits, but to interview the actual masters of the financial universe. And he didn't just talk to anyone. We're talking about people who almost never give interviews. The founder of Vanguard, the head of the world's largest hedge fund, legendary traders, billionaire icons. He somehow convinced them to open up their playbooks, to share the exact strategies they use to make money no matter what the market is doing. And the single most important secret they all shared, it's summed up perfectly right here by Ray Dalio.
You can win this game, but you can't win by trying to outsmart the system. You can't beat the high-frequency traders at their own game. The secret is to stop playing their game and start playing a totally different, smarter game that they can't touch.
So what's the goal of this new, smarter game? It's this: financial freedom. And let's be clear, this isn't just about being filthy rich. It's about reaching a point where your investments generate enough income to cover your life. That's it. At that point, going to work is a choice, not a chore. The rat race is finally over. And the best part is, this isn't some impossible dream. Robbins took everything he learned from those interviews and distilled it all into a clear step-by-step plan. It's literally a 7-step map to get you out of that confusing jungle and onto the path to freedom. And here it is. This is the map. Step 1 is just deciding you're going to be an investor, not just a consumer. 2 is where you learn the real rules, exposing the myths and those killer hidden fees. 3 is all about figuring out your number. How much do you actually need to be free? 4 is asset allocation, probably the most important money decision you'll ever make. 5 is about building a plan for lifetime income, one that protects you when the market crashes. 6 is where you get to copy the portfolios of billionaires like Ray Dalio. And finally, 7 is the most important. Just do it. And don't forget to enjoy and share what you build. The real magic here is that this isn't based on some hot new trend or a stock tip. This is a system built on the timeless foundational principles that the best investors in the world have been using for decades, through every single market boom and bust imaginable. And just to show you how powerful this stuff is, let's go back to step 2, know the rules. The book shows how hidden fees in your average mutual fund or 401k can literally eat up half of your potential returns. By just understanding and avoiding those fees, a typical person could save up to $450,000 over a lifetime. I mean, come on, that alone is completely life-changing. So when you boil it all down, it really comes to this one question. For most of our lives, we've been the chess pieces, moved around a board by forces we don't understand. The promise of this book, of mastering this game, is the chance to finally flip the script, to stop being a piece and become the player who decides your own moves, and ultimately, your own future.